Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Daniel Barone here to talk about sleep. Remember, this is out there. The answers lie within. um, Welcome back. So today, thought it'd be kind of a interesting topic to talk about would be sleepwalking. Okay, so sleepwalking, what that is it's a form of a sleep disorder. We call it parasomnia, which is basically abnormal movements or abnormal sensations that occur around sleep. So sleepwalking, actually, believe it or not, when I give a talk to other medical professionals or even to patients, I'll use the scene from Step Brothers, which is one of my favorite movies, where the two of them are doing these strange behaviors while they're asleep. Obviously, it's played up for comedic effect, but there is some truth to what they're showing. So essentially, what happens in sleepwalking is the part of the brain that controls our, which is kind of the governor for things that we shouldn't do or things that we should do, kind of our kind of social cues type of thing, is our frontal lobes right here in our brain. Our brain has different lobes, if you will. So the frontal lobes right in the front here, that kind of tells us that we should do things, or conversely, we shouldn't do things that are socially appropriate. So, for example, if if you're walking down the street and somebody shakes you, chances are you're not going to hit them, all right? But somebody who's sleepwalking, that area of the brain is asleep. So what occurs is the person, when they're sleepwalking, the brain is not fully asleep. There's parts of the brain that are asleep. So the frontal lobes are asleep, but other areas of the brain, such as the parietal lobes, which are over here, they're awake. So the person is able to do what we call automatic actions. So what do I mean by that? Something that you've done millions and millions of times that you really don't think about anymore. So how to open a door, how to turn on a car, how to walk, how to open a window in some cases, right? So people with sleepwalking, they can sometimes do these strange behaviors. And you say, well, how is it possible if they're asleep? It's because the area of the brain which controls these automatic behaviors is awake. But the governor or the police officer for our behaviors, the frontal lobes, is asleep. So one of the old adages is you do not wake up a sleepwalker. The reason being is because when you shake them that way, or kind of startle them to wake up, their initial kind of primitive response is to attack, right? Because the frontal lobes are not awake. So they may hurt themselves, they may hurt you, they may fall downstairs like you see in or they may cause somebody to fall downstairs like you see in Step Brothers. Um, and they may do damage to themselves or to others. So the best way to handle a sleepwalker would be to kind of gently guide them back to their bed, but no abrupt actions or anything like that. But the big question is, if somebody comes in to my office and they say, I'm sleepwalking, or my bed partner says I'm sleepwalking, the big question is why? Why is this person sleepwalking? What's going on? Is there something that's going on in their sleep that's triggering this to happen? So things like sleep apnea, things like leg kicks throughout the night, certain medications, you've heard of Ambien before, that can certainly do it. Poor quality sleep, or sleep that's related to stress, right? Or certain medications or substances, like caffeine, for example, or alcohol in some cases. These can all not necessarily cause sleepwalking, but certainly be part of the issue. So if somebody comes with a sleepwalking episode, my first hunch is going to have them come in and do a sleep test, and see if we can kind of figure that out. What's interesting about sleepwalking is it tends to happen a lot more frequently in children. Many children will sleepwalk. I had a couple of sleepwalking episodes myself when I was a kid. And the reason being for that is children tend to have a lot more of what we call delta wave sleep, or very, very deep sleep. As we get older, that amount that we get, it kind of decreases over time, and then it plateaus. So children, because they have this extra deep sleep as their brains are growing, the transition in and out of that can precipitate sleepwalking. So if a kid is having a lot of very, very deep sleep and then is awoken abruptly, part of his brain may still be in that sleep, as I said, and that's where sleepwalking happens. So just something to think about. There are other forms of sleepwalking that are out there. One of them is sexsomnia. Now, what this is, just what it sounds like, is basically people having sex or sex acts when they're asleep and they have no recollection of it the next day. People with sleepwalking don't know what they've done. Or sleep eating, same idea, getting up and eating. So on both of these are kind of variants of sleepwalking. You can imagine, right, with sexsomnia, there's a tremendous amount of legal implications, potential legal implications out there. And I know colleagues of mine who have been asked to testify in cases of that. So all very interesting stuff. But the big question is, if somebody is frequently sleepwalking, an adult, as I said, kids may or may not be an issue, but it happens in adults. Always the big question is why, and that's really where it comes down to looking at medications, looking at substances ingested, looking at a sleep test, right? So don't wake a sleepwalker up and abruptly. And if you want to see, obviously, a funny kind of version of it, Step Brothers is a good one. Anyway, so that's the video for today. Again, my book is out there on Amazon. It will be released in May in paperback form, so keep an eye out for that. If you like the video, please click like and share it with your friends and family on social media. Please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss these daily videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.